Well, guys, it's official. The worst contract in MLB history is done, as it was confirmed yesterday via Sam Bloom of The Athletic that the final year of Anthony Rendon's 7-year, $245 million contract has been agreed upon by both sides to be paid out over the next 3 to 5 years, along with a subsequent release. Before we continue, I think it's important to give a little qualification as to why I believe this is the worst contract in baseball history, because there are some real stinkers out there, including one signed by his own teammate, Steven Strasburg, in the same offseason that was virtually identical, yet yielded only 8 total starts for his squad. Honestly, you could rattle off a number of other contenders, but the reason I think that Anthony's takes the cake as the worst ever is because of one principal thing: a lack of care. Most of the other busts we've seen came as a result of one of two factors, being either that a guy was overpaid out of the gate because of a team's effort to bring him in, or some severe age or injury-related decline. For Anthony, the second one is probably more applicable, but the dude also quite simply had perhaps the worst attitude I've ever seen for a professional athlete throughout his time in Anaheim. Constantly antagonizing media members, taking far more time than typical to rehab any ailments, and saying publicly, multiple times, that he wasn't really personally a fan of baseball and that it wasn't a true priority of his. The kind of non-commitment that big is just truly unforgivable, especially for a guy whose salary was among the top 5 in all of Major League Baseball pretty much every year of the past half-decade. And this was reflected in his total games played as well, as pointed out by Dan Clark on Twitter, who mentioned that he was paid essentially almost $1 million per game. Despite posting a total value for the Angels, that was about half of what he managed to put up during his final season in Washington, D.C. And that's far from the only unsavory stat we can throw up about Anthony's time in SoCal. Here's a few more. He had more total home runs and RBI in each of his last 3 campaigns individually with the Nationals than he did in total with the Halos, and he had an individual B-WAR that was higher 5 times preceding. This last fact is perhaps the most hilarious to me. He has the least total number of home runs for a guy who signed a contract of $200 million or more, ever. And that includes active players, meaning that Juan Soto, who signed his deal in this previous offseason, still has managed to lap him in this regard. This has been just one of a multitude of horrible contracts the Angels have signed in recent years, including those for Albert Pujols, Josh Hamilton, and Justin Upton, all of which were well over $100 million, with literally 0 of them being finished in Anaheim. At this point, I just hope that Mike Trout can rebound enough in both health and overall production to not eventually end up on a list like that as well.
Alright everybody, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching, and if you did, consider checking out any of these other videos on your screen right now for other content just like this. Also, if you ever see anything you'd like to see me detail in the video, feel free to reach out to my email, basebpoet@gmail.com, and if I end up using your idea, I'll give you a shout out. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.